The human brain is similar to the brains of other animals. Although a sheep's brain is smaller than a human's, it has the same structures. The brainstem is located towards the back and bottom of the brain, where the spinal cord enters the brain. Almost all the nerves in the body are connected to the spinal cord that runs up the spine and enters the brain through the brainstem. The brainstem is the part of the brain that controls involuntary actions in the body, like the beating of the heart and the contraction and expansion of lung cavities. The cerebellum, or little brain, is located just above the brainstem. Notice how folded and lumpy this part of the brain is. The folding increases the amount of surface area. The nerve cells occur in outer layers, and folding allows for more nerve cells to fit into a space. The cerebellum is the area of the brain that controls muscles and coordinates movement. The largest portion of the brain is the cerebrum. In humans, the cerebrum makes up about 85% of the brain. It makes up a smaller percentage of a sheep's brain, though. The cerebrum is where higher order thinking takes place. In other words, this is where you do your analyzing, evaluating, and planning. The posterior portion of the brainstem, including the cerebellum, is called the hindbrain. The section of the brainstem located next to the cerebrum is called the midbrain. The front section of the brain made up the cerebrum is called the forebrain. The ventricle surface is where the major nerves in your body, called cranial nerves, connect to the brain. Cranial nerves are a part of the system that helps you perceive the world through the five senses. The two white areas that are slightly lighter than the rest of the cerebrum are called the olfactory bulbs. This is where your brain processes what you smell. In sheep, the olfactory bulbs occupy more of the brain than in humans. Optic nerves at the front of the brainstem. Most of the optic nerve is missing and only two small parts remain in preserved specimens like this. The optic nerve carries visual signals from the retina of the eye to the brain. The part of your brain that processes the image is actually located on the dorsal surface of the cerebrum. The optic tract is right below the optic nerve and disappears into the cerebrum. The optic tract is part of the visual system in the brain and is a continuation of the optic nerve. It relays information from your eyes to your brain. The corpus callosum is in the middle of the cerebrum. The lighter color is actually a large band of nerve fibers that connects the two hemispheres of the cerebrum. The left side of the cerebrum controls the right side of your body, and vice versa. Without the corpus callosum, the two halves of your body couldn't work together efficiently. The pineal body is a gland that produces a hormone called melatonin. This is what makes you sleepy. When your body needs rest, the brain triggers this gland to start producing melatonin so that you can fall asleep. Each lobe of the brain has a different primary function. The frontal lobe is where your emotions, planning, and problem-solving abilities come from. The parietal lobe, which is the top area of the cerebrum, is associated with recognition and movement. The occipital lobe is in the back section of the cerebrum and is responsible for vision. The temporal lobe is the side of the cerebrum and is responsible for your speech. It is also where your memories are stored. The colors of the surface and the tissue inside the brain are different. The tissue inside the brain is called white matter. The white matter is actually made up of axons, nerve fibers that carry nerve signals. The outer layer, which is darker, is called gray matter. Gray matter is made up of nerve cells that process and transmit the nerve signals. I hope you learned something from this video. The brain is vast and amazing, and there's still so much that we don't know about it.